Today I want us to talk about taming our thoughts. I'm talking about thoughts because in my own view and through all the research that I've conducted, the beginning of all evil, the beginning of the best decisions, the beginning of comfort, happiness, all comes through thoughts. Ask yourself, am I truly failing? Or in this case, it's not failure, instead I am learning. I like to say that for some people, no means like, no, it's over. But think at no as next opportunity, like replace N with next, then O with opportunity. That way you're reframing, you're telling yourself that even when I know I am failing now, I am reframing, I am learning. Why do I say so, or how can you do that? Hello, friends of Hanye Space. You are so much welcome to our conversations, where we bring you topics to help you to become a better version of yourself. You're with me, Wera Agnes, as usual, the person who really, truly loves and cares about you. And today, I'm very much excited to once again speak to you about emotional wellness, but in a style. I want to talk to you in style. And this is something that has been on my mind for, I think, a week so far. I've been looking at dogs, I've been looking at cats, I've been looking at these animals, even parrots. We don't have them where I am, but I know some people have parrots where they are. And then a word came to my mind, taming. Taming, in simple terms, I will read what I wrote down here. Taming is not the same as domestication. I want us to be very clear on that, because domestication sometimes has a negative connotation to it, but right now I want us to talk about taming. And in most cases, the word taming is used for animals, where we say we want those animals to be typically adapt themselves to the human presence through accepting to be trained, be able to interact without excessive aggression, and etc. So the taming that I'm talking about is an individual being able to tolerate or bond with another, bond with the animals, without necessarily domesticating. We all know that many of the animals that are tamed include dogs, include cats, rabbits, guinea pigs. We have parrots and some other pet birds. In other places, we have horses, donkeys, and oxen. We have sheep, chicken, name it. And I want to start with a story of a friend who told me one day that when she was growing up, they had goats at home. But somehow they had a goat that was very stubborn, I would say. And this goat, every time it escaped. So, and her mother decided that one day I'm going to tie it. And she tied it near the tea gardens. Like they had tea gardens, they have other trees, so she decided to tie it. But her assumption was it will never break loose or run away, because you know what goats do. When they run away, they can go and, you know, spoil like farm beans or maize beans or stuff like that. So, and then the owner of the beans would come and complain or even charge them penalty. So one day, after another round of, you know, this girl chasing the goat, you know, somehow it escaped. It escaped the rope where it was tied. So one day, when this friend ran away, ran after the goat, it still did not, like she could not manage. So one day the father came home and is like, you know, one thing you should know, that you don't tame, you don't control a goat by tying it harder. You teach it where to feed from. Teaching means taming. It learns that this is where we feed from, this is when we go out, this is when we are relaxed or free, etc. Now, coming back to our topic of taming, today I want us to talk about taming our thoughts. How do we start to tame our thoughts? I have quite a number of tips, and I would like you, my viewers, before even I share, to subscribe if you haven't done so, to share this conversation, but more so give me your thoughts. What do you think? What can we do to tame our thoughts? Number one, you need to be aware of your thoughts. Just like we've had me tell you the story of the goat, you need to observe your thoughts. Do not fight your thoughts. In most cases, some of us want to pinch ourselves. We condemn ourselves for thinking the way we've thought. But it's very important that you don't fight your thoughts. You think through them. You ask yourself questions. Why am I thinking like this, and how can I improve? Because what happens if you're not aware of your thoughts, you'll become like that goat. If you're not aware, then you will not be able to resist negative thoughts, for example, or even exciting news, because it all passes through your thoughts. And today I'm talking about thoughts because in my own view and through all the research that I've conducted, the beginning of all evil, the beginning of the best decisions, the beginning of comfort, happiness, all comes through thoughts. Number two is that after you have really thought through, you're aware of your thoughts, then you need to replace the negative ones, or I could say reframe. Why do I say so, or how can you do that even? Number one, you need to spend a few minutes in quietness. You need to be still, you need to breathe, you need to pause. You need to take a moment off the usual distractions to reframe your thoughts. And these, friends, might require that you do a bit of meditation. This might require that you know, what happened, let me give you, remind you, like Christ, when he really wanted to pray, when he wanted to connect to Father, to God, he went away from the distractions. So it might require that for you to be able to tame your thoughts, you get away from the distraction so that you can meditate, so that you can even pray about the thoughts. That way you're doing what? You're reframing, you're replacing, you're restructuring, you're coming out a refreshed person. And that is connected to the noise. You need to slow down on the noise. Spend a few minutes in stillness, spend a few minutes away, spend a few minutes thinking. And it is connected to replacing or reframing your thoughts. Maybe just to go back a little bit, as part of reframing or rephrasing, you need to ask yourself questions. For example, am I failing? Is it a question of failure? For instance, if you have a negative thought that tells you know what, you're failing, like it keeps ringing in your mind, you're failing. Ask yourself, am I truly failing? Or, in this case, it's not failure, instead I am learning. I like to say that for some people, no means like, no, it's over. But think at no as next opportunity, like replace N with next, then O with opportunity. That way you're reframing, you're telling yourself that even when I know I am failing now, I am reframing, I am learning. And then it will take us to the third point, which was about slowing down to the noise, spending a few minutes in still form, being quiet and pausing and breathing and asking yourself, okay, now that I'm away from the noise, what next can I do? And then that takes us now to the fourth point, which is disciplining your mind. Choosing to be disciplined means that not every thought deserves a home. It sounds a bit funny, but not every thought really deserves a home in your mind. Learn to say no or to say stop when toxic thoughts knock at your door. You know, sometimes you start thinking about something and then you continue to build it in your mind. You want it to expand. And before you know it, it has become so toxic to you that you want to act upon what you just thought. So say no or say stop. Put a stop to negative or toxic thoughts that come or ring a bell in your mind. But how do you say no anyway? When something like that happens, my recommendation will be, look out for people. You have friends. Just distract yourself off the negative thought, the toxic thought. Call up a friend, call up a family member, watch a movie, go swim, go take a walk. Just take your mind off the toxic thoughts. Then the other one is feeding your mind well, like choosing to uplift, to watch or listen to uplifting conversations. Read something inspiring. Like some people love to watch movies, maybe not myself, but I'm learning. I'm learning. If you feel like you want to really change, can you find something that you can feed to your mind? If, for example, you want to watch inspirational messages, look them up. There are several online. Watch those ones. Before you know it, the toxic thoughts that you had before you started watching will have gone and you're moving on. Then the other one is releasing what you can't control. Friends, there are things that you cannot control, definitely. Why don't you choose to release yourself of those things? You know very well you can't control. Then why think about it so much? Just distract yourself off that thing that you know you can't be in control. In this case, I want to put it in context with the goat chasing. So chasing some of your thoughts, you know, is like chasing that goat, you know. It will just drain your energy. I've been reminded of when we were kids, we would be told that we need to chase a chicken because it was going to be slaughtered. And then you would run after that chicken until you just get so tired and you give up. Which means that even your thoughts, sometimes you just need to stop chasing the negative things, the things that you can't control, the things that you definitely know that you have nothing to do about it. Instead, I would say at this point that you let go and let God. Put everything in God's hands and let him be the one to chase. Because otherwise you might chase and you end up dropping down before you catch that one thing that is draining your thoughts. And then it is very important to anchor your mind. For example, you wake up every morning, use a biblical scripture. If you're Muslim, use your Quran. Get something written that will uplift your spiritual well-being. Say a word of prayer each morning. Or, you know, the thoughts actually don't just come in the morning. They can be even during the day. You can pause, like I said, put a pause, go somewhere on the side and pray. You know, even people can pray even in bathrooms, even at work. When something crosses your mind and you feel like, I need something to help me detox, go to the bathroom, lock yourself up and detox from there. Nobody will know. By the time you come back, you're refreshed. So it's very important that you find a verse, say a word of prayer, or have a daily a daily habit that will help you to be kept steady. We are talking about taming your thoughts. Taming, like every time your thoughts are going left, right, left, right, left, right, center, you're moving backwards, you feel like you're so much drained, tame them. Teach your thoughts that, you know what, friend, we are not going to live in a negative environment. We are going to live in a positive environment. All I want you to do is stay calm, breathe, pause, and believe. Remember, a tamed mind, just like the goat, after some gentle training, and I'm talking about training your mind, you can stay where you're supposed to be, and you will have peace instead of chaos. You've noticed that there are some people, when the thoughts are so many, like you're lingering with so many thoughts, there's so much chaos upstairs, and you don't even have control over anything. And it can put you in a situation whereby you want to do everything and anything now. And when you get yourself to that point in time of life, you will not achieve. You will not achieve your goals. You lose out on your plan. You lose out on the things that you had set out to do for the day. So please, friends, I was bringing you a message today that you can learn to tame your thoughts. Because the thoughts that you have each day, each hour, each minute, each second, each microsecond, if they are not tamed, they will distract you. However, here at the Honey Space, we want that your thoughts will build you. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you're going to tame your thoughts. Bye.